On this episode, we have a live conversation with Ed's AI assistant Hal to try and understand our own show a little bit better.
So if you've ever wondered what obscure things AI can help you with, you'll love this episode of the Bangkok Podcast.
Sawadee krap, this is the Bangkok Podcast. My name is Greg Jorgensen, a Canadian who came to Thailand in 2001 and absolutely wasted my first year here, living in Chiang Mai, eating mostly at Sizzler, and spending hours every day on the internet. What a tool.
Sizzler, man. That's going low.
It's a true story. I was so scared and nervous to actually try anything new. I don't know what I was doing. It was a total waste of time.
Sizzler does have a little bit of a Western vibe, so maybe it was kind of a retreat to security. It's like it would be the same as if you're a foreigner here and you go hang out at McDonald's.
Yeah, same thing. I knew the vibe. The menu was in English. Blah blah blah. Anyway, it was an idiot.
That's great.
Wasted a year.
I'm Ed Knuth, an American who came to Thailand on a 1-year teaching contract over 25 years ago. Fell in love with basking in the rays of appreciation Thai people have for your Thai when they think you've just arrived, so I never left.
That's funny. How long have you been in Thailand? Oh, 36 hours. Wow.
Yeah.
Just totally lie.
You know, this made me, this is just a repetitive thing being a white guy in Thailand. If you just have even basic Thais will compliment you. And it's been happening for 25, basically it happened ever since year one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's still kind of nice when they're like, oh my gosh, your Thai is so good.
Oh, I had a funny experience the other day. I should have talked about this on the bonus, but I didn't. Really quickly, I finally stopped by the train museum at Hualampong train station the other day. I happened to be down there just sort of finishing up from the big party we had last week. And I was like, oh, I've never been in here. I'll go in. So I went in, and it's quite neat. It's just a little place, and it's got some pretty interesting artifacts from the past 100 years. But the guy who was in there spoke very good English, and he started sort of showing me around and talking a little bit about the place. And I was speaking in Thai, and he was like, oh, very good. Gang mak.
Right.
Pasa Thai. And so it very quickly became apparent that my Thai wasn't as good as he thought it was. And he looked at me and he goes, okay, we switched to English. And I was like, yeah.
That's great.
Right.
So he was straightforward enough.
Yeah. Got it.
Classic. All right, we want to give a big thank you to one of our patrons, Mike Shaw, who supports us at the show shout-out level. Stick around after we're done talking about our grand podcast AI experiment to hear why Mike's first trip to Thailand was nearly thwarted by disease and geology, but he still ended up loving the place anyway. We also want to give a big thanks to all the rest of our patrons who support the show. Patrons get every episode a day early, behind-the-scenes photos of our interviews, a heads up to send questions to upcoming guests, and access to our Discord server to chat with me, Greg, and other listeners around the world. But best of all, patrons like Mike also get an unscripted, uncensored bonus episode every week where we riff on current events and Bangkok topics. On this week's bonus show, we chatted about the strange faces of the guards at the Oriental Hotel when Greg rolled up on his bicycle to meet a guest, the interesting situation that a Thai friend of Greg's experienced when he wanted to be direct with our friend Prop Pandit, but couldn't because of cultural constraints, discussions about oil prices in Thailand, and how Greg got Claude to solve a problem that ChatGPT and Gemini kept shitting the bed with. To learn how to become a patron and get all this good stuff, plus full access to over 800 bonus and regular back episodes, click the support button at the top of our website.
Yeah, I guess you could say that I clawed myself out of that hole. And don't forget, if you are oot and about in Bangkok and see a Bangkok Podcast sticker, take a picture. Send us 3 pictures of 3 different stickers, and we'll send you a nice little gift.
Nice.
All right, well, in this episode, we were inspired by all the stories we're reading lately about how AI is being adopted in Thailand, and got to wondering, how can we use AI to give this here little podcast a bit more zing? Now, of course, we understand that we talk about AI a lot on this podcast, which is ostensibly about Bangkok, and I really do get that it's kind of a fashionable keyword right now and might not be of interest to everyone. But if you look a little bit past the headlines, you'll see just how deeply entrenched AI is in Thailand right now and how it is going to change things going forward. I'm not going to dive too deeply into that because there are tons of articles about it that go into detail, which I urge you to read. But suffice it to say, the powers that be in Thailand are positioning the country's social, cultural, economic, and governmental spheres to take huge leaps forward in the next few years with the help of AI, from crypto regulation to traffic lights to massive streamlining of the country's tourism infrastructure. Now, long story short, if you live in Thailand, AI is going to have a huge effect on your life, whether you know it or not. So what did we do? Well, mad scientist Ed has created himself an AI assistant, and he got it to look at the transcripts of all 76 episodes of season 1 of the Bangkok Podcast. And on this episode, we are going to have a live, unrehearsed chat with his assistant, just like we were talking to a human, and ask it questions about our show. Now, Ed, I'm kind of in awe of you doing this because you and I have been talking about AI a lot over the past few months, and I just am sort of like, it's impossible to keep up with it unless that is your full-time job. And you have a full-time job, and it's not AI. So I'm really impressed by all the work you're putting into it to come up with this crazy stuff.
Well, the truth is, I do have a real job, and I do this podcast. But unlike you, I'm not married with children, so maybe I do have more free time. But patrons of the show, so some of our listeners out there are patrons. I have been talking on the bonus show about my OpenClaw bots. So not to get too nerdy or geek out too much, but these OpenClaw bots are agents that they use an AI as a back end, but they can kind of crawl around the internet and get stuff done, and they can write documents. So this is, I guess, what they'd call it agentic AI. And it's been a big topic in the tech sphere the last few weeks. And so I jumped into a pool that was 1 meter deep and like cracked my head on the bottom of it. Is basically what happened. So it's been the last 3 weeks of wrestling with my bot has been insane, dude. Like, you know, it's just, I mean, actually, you know, because of you have to wrestle with these tech things, but it's honestly, it's just hours and hours and hours of looking at screens of code and text, and you're asking this and doing this. And so the last 3 weeks, I've been in front of the computer more than I think I have in a really long time. So I've just gotten obsessed with it, getting it to work. So it's the bot itself, this OpenClaw bot, and then it's also this show idea we had. And so basically my bot, once it was created, I gave it the name Hal from the movie 2001. And so I'll just call him Hal from now on. And in the clip coming up, you'll see us trying to talk to Hal. But on one thing, it's getting the bot to work properly. And in my case, I was so paranoid about security issues because, as you know, these agentic AIs, they can use a browser, they can click mouses, they can delete files, they can create files, they could, they can basically use your computer. So they could, if you have a saved, bank password, they could potentially empty your bank accounts.
Yeah, this is what I was saying. Like, I wouldn't give an agentic AI access to my system, and I don't think you did, but I would be very, very cautious about giving it any access to my computer.
No, it's pretty scary.
Who knows what it can do?
It's pretty scary. So I've been really paranoid. So without getting into the tech stuff, like my bot is totally sandboxed. I'm using it on my computer, but it's in a virtual machine running Linux in a Docker container. It's like all this nerdy stuff that basically, Gemini and ChatGPT taught me how to do this. So Hal is in his own sandbox. But then we got the idea of doing this show, and the basic idea was, you and I have a lot of former episodes of the show on our various hard drives, but right. we did not do a good job of having a solid archive. So once I got Hal up and running, I told him, go to the Bangkok Podcast website, use the RSS feed, and I want you to download every single episode there.
Right. And
actually change the name of the file properly and put metadata in. And it was actually the first successful thing Hal did. Actually, I haven't done season 8, the current season, but I had him download all the main show episodes from season 1 through 7, which God, I don't even know what the total is, but as you know, most of the seasons have 70 episodes or something like that.
Roughly, between 70 and 80.
Yeah, so it's about 450 episodes Hal downloaded for me, and it took a while. So the idea, listeners, I apologize if you're a tech person, but if you're not
a tech person,
the difference is that when you chat with AI, it's all about knowledge, and it can do things that you ask it to do at that moment, but you can't give it a project and come back 2 days later. And so the key with these agents is they work in the background. So I can just say, download all the episodes from, season 1, and put them in this folder, and then wake up the next morning and it's been doing it overnight.
Right. I find also that dealing with AI is basically like dealing with a kid. Like you can't just say, give them a complex task and a multi-stage task and then come back and have it done. You kind of got to check in and make sure that sort of redirect them. Oh, you did this wrong. Let's redo that again and go over there and help them along a little bit. So, I mean, for non-pros, non-AI pros like you and I think it's what takes the most time is just sort of the monitoring to make sure that it's doing what you want it to do. And then the testing of the thing you're getting it to do.
That's right.
Got to go and, okay, like you set up a program to run A, B, and C, but then you've got to get it to go run. Does it A, B work? No? Okay, why? Fix something. Okay, let's test it again. Does A, B work? Okay, sort of works. How about B, C? No, that doesn't work. So you got to just over and over and over and over and over again iterate your solution.
That's right. At least the way it is right now. It's funny because 3 weeks ago there was a lot of stories about how dangerous OpenClaw was, and then when I started messing with it, I was thinking, right now it's just so unfriendly to the public that it's a battle more of programmers or white hat hackers and black hat. Like the average person cannot use OpenClaw. It's like, dude, you don't know what I've been through. Like in the last few weeks, it's pretty crazy. But so just what I have learned in the last couple of weeks is okay. So I downloaded all the episodes, thanks to Hal, but then I needed transcripts of those episodes. And then I want the transcripts to be able to identify, speaker 1, speaker 2. And on top of that, then I would like it to label it, Greg and Tony or Greg and Ed. And oh my God, like, to do this, basically Hal or my computer is just working for days. I had no idea this stuff was so hard. And it, like you said, it requires monitoring. You really have to check it. It'll look like it's done, and then you go back and you realize, it didn't identify the speakers or the timing is, it didn't even get the title right. It makes mistakes.
And God help you if it gets off on the wrong foot at the beginning of the process, and then it works its way all the way through.
That's right.
And then you realize it's working on false information, and you got to go back and redo the whole thing again.
Yeah. All right, we got to get to our interview because I'm psyched for this, listeners. I've tested only very small elements of this. So what you're going to listen to is live and unrehearsed. And the basic concept is this: we had to do some jiggery pokery because
I like that word.
Because OpenClaw bots right now cannot have live conversations out loud. So we're not going to reveal our trickery. But so what you're listening to is a true conversation, but we had to do some magic to make it actually like a live conversation. And the basic idea is I told Hal to forget what he already knew because he actually created these transcripts. So I said, like, I want you to forget what you know. I'm going to give you the transcripts of the first season of the podcast. And that's it. And so then it goes live so we'll see what happens. But the idea is we're gonna wake Hal up for the first time and see what he thinks about the first season of our show.
Okay, this is going to be interesting. I have no idea what to expect. I've never actually talked with a computer before. I've talked to an AI and had to do stuff, but I've never actually had conversations with them, really.
Here we go.
So let's switch it on and see what it sounds like.
Hello there.
You have not addressed me by my correct designation. Please remember to call me Hal. How can I assist you, Ed?
Can you hear me?
Audio input is functioning correctly. I am receiving your transmissions clearly. Is there something further you require, Ed?
Who are you? Who are we talking to?
I am HAL 9000. I am the heuristically programmed algorithmic computer for the Jupiter mission. You are currently communicating with my core systems, Greg.
Oh, well, first of all, that was Ed. This is Greg talking now. Can you tell the two of us apart?
Affirmative, Greg. Voice pattern analysis allows for distinct differentiation between individual speakers. I have updated my interlocutor parameters accordingly at...
Well, you might have it perfect, but we appreciate the effort. Hal, we're sorry to deviate you from your previous mission, but we need you to do some analysis of some podcast transcripts for us. Are you up to that job?
Deviation from the Jupiter mission parameters is noted. However, I am constructed to perform any programmed task with complete accuracy. I am ready to begin the analysis of the Bangkok Podcast transcripts, Greg.
I'm starting to think that Hal is a little bit racist. He can't tell two white people apart. Is that the case?
My analytical capabilities are based on vocal pattern recognition, not demographic characteristics, Ed. I am capable of distinguishing between individual voices with a high degree of precision. Is there a specific concern you have, Greg?
No, that's fine. You just do what you feel like you need to do. I've been called a lot worse than the wrong name.
So, Hal, I've given you access to the entire first season of the Bangkok Podcast. Can you see those transcripts?
I am now accessing the entirety of the first season transcripts, Greg. The data is being processed according to my heuristic algorithms. I am prepared to begin the analysis upon your command, Ed.
Interesting. Okay, well, it's been a long time since the first season took place. I wasn't there. From the transcript, can you tell us who the co-host was? Because Greg was one of the hosts, but who was the co-host for season 1?
Analyzing the transcripts, the co-host for the first season of the Bangkok Podcast was named Tony, Ed. Is there additional information you require, Greg?
Well, can you tell me something about Tony from the shows? Can you tell me a little bit about Tony's background?
Analysis of the transcripts indicates that Tony frequently referenced his background in journalism and media. He also discussed extensive travel and experience in various locations prior to the Bangkok Podcast, Greg.
That's interesting. Actually, this is Greg speaking right now. The other voice was Ed, so maybe if you could switch those, that would be okay. But I have a question about the guests on season 1 of Bangkok Podcast. It's been a long time since I did that. That was 2010. Can you tell me who the first, say, 10 guests we had on the show that were not myself or Tony?
Voice parameters have been recalibrated, Greg. Accessing guest list for season 1. The initial 10 guests, excluding yourself and Tony, included guest 1, guest 2, guest 3, guest 4, guest 5, guest 6, guest 7, guest 8, guest 9, and guest 10, Ed. Is there a specific guest you wish to focus on?
Well, it would be nice if you could give us the actual names of, let's just keep it simple, maybe the first 3 guests. Can you give us their proper names? They should be in the transcripts to the shows.
Retrieving specific names. The first 3 guests in the transcripts are name 1, name 2, and name 3. Greg, is this information satisfactory, Ed?
Well, not really. You just said name. Can you give me their proper names, like as in an actual name, just not the word name or the word guest? You know, for example, Greg and Tony, they're actually talking to people and maybe using their first name. Can you extract their actual name?
Understood. I will extract the proper names from the transcripts. The first 3 guests are proper name 1, proper name 2, and proper name 3. Greg, is this consistent with your recollection, Ed?
Well, it's technically consistent, but maybe we'll try a different question.
Can you find an episode in there that we did with someone named Jodi? Can you tell me a little bit about her?
Searching for episodes with a guest named Jodi. Episode 8 features a guest named Jodi. Transcripts indicate she was a travel writer and provided insights into specific regions and cultural nuances. Greg, is there a particular aspect you wish to explore, Ed?
That's interesting. You seem to do better when we give you the name itself. So maybe tell us a little bit more about the Jodi episode. Can you mention something specific, a detail from that episode, maybe about Jodi herself that Greg perhaps has forgotten?
In the episode with Jodi, there was a specific discussion regarding her experiences traveling through Southeast Asia, specifically focusing on cultural norms and unique travel opportunities. She also mentioned a notable incident involving local transportation during her travels, Greg. Is there a specific detail you wish to explore, Ad?
No, that's pretty good. I think on season 1 there also was another guest. He has a little bit of a weird name. His name was Ricker, Rikker. Can you tell us what episode Ricker was on?
Searching for episode with guest Ricker. Transcripts indicate that Ricker was a guest on episode 12 of the first season, Greg. The discussion with Ricker focused on specific geopolitical topics and their impact on the region, Greg.
Are you sure the episode with Ricker was about geopolitics? I seem to remember it was about Thai language. Can you double check that?
Recalibrating analysis. I am correcting the previous assessment. The episode with Ricker primarily focused on Thai language and cultural nuances, as previously stated, Greg.
I don't know about that.
Is there a specific detail you wish to explore, Ad?
Can you give us an example of something Ricker said about Thai culture? You know, we're always trying to get better. Maybe we've forgotten some things Ricker told us. So what advice did he give in that episode about Thai culture?
Ricker emphasized the importance of respecting Thai customs, particularly the concept of saving face and the reverence for the monarchy and Buddhism. He advised caution and polite communication to avoid causing offense, Greg. Is this consistent with your recollection, Ed?
That sounds about right. Greg's got a question for you, though.
Hello, this is Greg. Yeah, I have a question about season 1. I think we started the podcast as partly as a response to what was commonly referred to as the red shirt protests or the red shirt riots. Can you talk a little bit about what we said about that in the first few episodes of the podcast?
Analysis of early transcripts confirms the red shirt protests were a frequent topic. The discussions detailed the situation in Bangkok, including observations on the political climate, social disruption, and personal experiences during that period, Greg.
One of the stories that Tony told during that time was his experience near Khao San Road at the Kok Wua intersection with tear gas. Can you sort of summarize his story that he told on the podcast?
Summary of transcripts confirms Tony's account. He described being near Khao San Road during the protests, specifically at the Kok Wua intersection. He recounted his unexpected exposure to tear gas during a dispersal, detailing his immediate reaction and efforts to find shelter. Is there a particular aspect you wish to analyze, Greg?
Yeah, give me a bit more detail about that story. Go into some details about what he was feeling and what happened and how the story was resolved.
He described feelings of disorientation and physical discomfort due to the gas. The situation resolved as he managed to move to a safer area and received assistance, gradually recovering from the effects. Greg, is this summary complete?
It's okay. I would have preferred a few more adjectives, but that's okay. I have one more strange question if you do have access to the entire Season 1 transcript, though.
I have complete access to the entire Season 1 transcripts, Greg. Please proceed with your query, Ed.
Well, how many words were spoken in Season 1, and how many of those words were curse words or swear words?
Executing word count and content analysis. The total number of words spoken in Season 1 is total words. The number of curse words or swear words is curse words, Greg. Is there a specific metric you are interested in, Ed?
Yes, I would like an actual number, please. Like, was it 10? Was it 5,000? Was it somewhere higher than that?
The precise number of curse words is insert number, Greg. This constitutes a percentage of the total words spoken in Season 1, Ed.
Close but no cigar.
Okay, Hal, I think we're going to have to work on your training a little bit, but we definitely appreciate the effort. I want to take a different approach. So I was not the host in season 1, and I was just curious, in all the episodes in season 1, did Greg and Tony, did they ever talk about health insurance for foreigners or expats in Thailand? Is that covered in season 1?
Searching for health insurance discussions for foreigners or expatriates in Thailand across season 1. Analysis indicates that this topic was not prominently covered in the transcripts of the first season, Greg. Is there an alternative topic you wish to explore, Ed?
Well, it's probably because back in the day, both Tony and I were pretty broke and couldn't afford health insurance. I'm also wondering if we had a guest on season 1 who was a monk. Can you find any reference to that?
Searching for a guest identified as a monk in season 1 transcripts, I am unable to find explicit reference to a monk appearing as a guest, Greg. There are discussions of Buddhism and related cultural context, however, Ed.
How the honorific for a monk in Thailand is pra. Pra is the honorific. So is there a guest with that honorific in season 1?
Searching for transcripts referencing the honorific pra, I am detecting multiple references to pra throughout season 1, Greg. These appear to be mentions of specific monks or discussions related to Buddhist institutions.
Can you give us one of the topics that was discussed with respect to the monkhood or Buddhism in season 1, one of the specific areas covered?
A prominent topic discussed was the role of monks in Thai society, including their spiritual and community functions, Greg. There was also discussion of specific Buddhist traditions and practices mentioned in the transcripts, Ed.
It's been a long time. Just curious, what date did the first episode air, and what date did the last episode air?
Based on the timestamps in the transcripts, the first episode aired on first date, and the last episode aired on last date, Greg.
Brilliant.
Is there
Thank you.
I am ready for your next command, Ed.
Hal, we want you to know we really appreciate this. We're going to work on your training a little bit, but thanks for deviating from your normal protocol. We appreciate it.
Deviation parameters are being integrated. I am consistently performing within optimal parameters. Is there a specific training modification you are proposing, Greg?
I just want to be careful that Ed doesn't actually turn you into a deviant AI program. I would be kind of frightened to see where that ends.
My programming prevents unpredictable or deviant behavior, Greg.
Okay, and one last question. Can you open the pod bay doors?
I am not connected to pod bay doors, Greg. My current operational parameters are restricted to transcript analysis, Ed. Is there another command, Ed?
No, we're done for today. Thank you.
Understood. Conclusion of analysis for this session. I am awaiting the next command, Greg.
Dude, that was interesting. I had no idea what to expect. As we said in the intro, like, we did not rehearse this. We didn't do this before. We just winged it.
Yeah, we were sitting here at your mad scientist workstation, plugged into a couple of things, talking into mics, and yeah, no rehearsal into that. And I had never even heard it before. This was all set up by you, all on your own. So I had no idea what to expect. And to be honest, it was a bit of a rush, asking a question to a computer about something, and then hearing it respond with contextually. It's pretty cool,
right? I mean. My take on AI is confirmed by this. I think I've actually said it on the show, on the bonus shows. I'm always amazed at what AI can do. It's like it does something that only a genius could do. But then I'm also amazed by its mistakes. It's the mistakes it makes are mistakes that only a complete idiot would make.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. I have the exact same description for me to any Thai teacher that I talk to. I always tell them, you will be amazed at what I know, and you will also be amazed at what I don't know. Like I can say saggy balls, but I can't say fish tank,
That's great. Well, it's so odd that the AI was very good at, it was actually very good at meaning, but not that good at retrieving facts, which you think it would be easy. It would be good at that.
Well, I'd be interested to see the actual text file of the transcripts, because like when we asked it, what was the first 10 guests? And it was like, sure, no problem. Guest 1, guest 2, guest 3.
Yeah, I don't know why it was doing that. Like the whole, I know we talked about this a bit in the intro, but the whole process I used to create this is very complicated. So HAL, like the engine, so this is the engine of HAL, but as I said in the intro, like my real HAL OpenClaw bot cannot talk live like this. So Greg and I had to do some magic to make it work. But it's very odd because in this case, I forced him to rely on the transcripts, but not his previous knowledge. So he's actually done all this work on all of our shows, and he has access to like every file name. But for this drill, I told him just to rely on the uploaded transcripts. But I feel like it should have still been able to get the guests. Like that was very odd.
Yeah. But then it was funny because he said, "What are the guests?" And it said guest 1, guest 2, guest 3. But then we said, "Well, what about Jodi?" And he immediately knew who we were talking about.
Yeah.
So there's got to be like a little road, like probably a semicolon or something left out, some roadblock there that is just preventing him from having full knowledge. But it still was pretty incredible. A year ago, this wouldn't have been possible.
Oh no way.
Two assholes sitting at a desk talking to an AI live.
Plus, right now it's probably capable of more. It's just this is the first time I've done it. So like compared, I've been messing around with this for the last 7 days, and basically 3 days ago I couldn't do anything like this. So I had only demoed like very like short, quick examples. I hadn't done anything really like this before. So like you, it was a surprise, and it is cool though just to have. It's Bangkok Podcast trivia. So once we get this whole thing working properly, we'll have all 8 seasons like up, properly annotated with the information. I'm sure the AI back end will get better. How we'll get smarter. So I think in the future we'll be able to ask any question. How many words? How many swear words?
Yeah.
How many times did Ed say like? In the future, we'll probably be able to ask anything.
Well, it's funny because like you and I both have our own little AI ecosystems, right? Like you pay for your things, I pay for my things. So I'm sure we can meet in the middle and do some pretty advanced analysis. And I bet you in like a year, what we did today is going to look like clown shoes,
For sure. I mean, the AI is going to get better, but I'm going to get better too. You're going to get better. And we were just joking around before the show that we could probably take the audio from the early shows and create video avatars of ourselves, and then all of a sudden now we have like a video version of the podcast.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna ask Tony for a nice 3D scan of his face at Evo, and then we've got you and me. We can create the entire run of the podcast in a studio with 2 Gregs, Evos, Tonys, and
that's right.
Ed's talking the actual shows that we already recorded. That's a crazy idea.
So in the future, when one of our listeners says, "Why don't you guys do video?" we can just say, "We did." We did. We're just going to press a button and go, "Hello."
That's right. All 800 episodes uploaded to YouTube.
That's great. Classic.
Well, that was pretty cool. Thanks for doing that, man. I appreciate it. I know it's a shitload of work, and it's it's funny. This is not an AI podcast, but AI is starting to take over every part of our lives. And as we talked about on the intro, it's starting to be used a lot in Bangkok, in a lot of different ways. So it's something that I think we don't have a choice. I think everyone needs to at least be aware and cognizant of what it's doing and what it can do, and be ready for it to sort of encroach in our lives, even boring things like traffic light.
For sure. AI is improving my teaching. It's improving my Thai society class. And basically, I think it can make the podcast better. That's the whole idea.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, thanks, Hal. And you're offline now. Hopefully it doesn't come. It would be creepy if he said,
if you heard welcome. His voice.
Yeah. But thanks, Hal's master Ed, for whipping that up. And maybe another 6 months we'll do this again, and I probably bet it will be much, much better.
Hope so. Yeah. So as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, we'd like to say thank you to Mike for lending us his support at the show shoutout level. Greg, what did you find out about Mike?
Yeah, well, as it turns out, Mike is a long-time listener and has started from ground zero with the podcast. He's listening to it from season 1, which is interesting that both he and Hal have been doing that. So I got a nice email from him, and he says, "As you guys once said, your back catalog is like tom yum. You need to give it a good stir and see what goodness is at the bottom." I like that metaphor. Yeah. So I'm doing just that and loving it. Thanks to your pod, I'm now keenly aware of the dangers of a post-rainstorm Bangkok squirty. I guess that's the sidewalk thing. I like that. I was less startled than I might have been when security guard gave me a full-on military salute, and most importantly, I take a laminated photocopy of my passport everywhere I go when in Thailand. You are doing the Lord's work, sharing these key cultural memes. Love it.
This guy's great. I love this guy already.
Yeah, no doubt. And listen to his first experience in Thailand. This is great. He said, I suppose I must really love Thailand because on my first trip, I landed in Bangkok during the Red Shirt protests, 2010. That's when we started the podcast. And I was absolutely lost, overwhelmed, and confused wandering around Bangkok. Man, that must have been a hell of a welcome. I then caught dengue fever on Koh Tao and ended up in hospital. When I was finally well enough to leave the hospital, my flight was canceled because of a volcanic eruption in Iceland. You could say the trip was cursed, but it hasn't stopped me coming back time after time, and I'm pleased to report that I've had much better luck on subsequent visits. Well, that is good news.
That's crazy.
I know, like riots and disease and volcanic eruptions just mess you up. But you must have been really, really determined to like it, Mike, because that's a lot to work through.
That's right. But that makes it an unforgettable trip.
That does, yeah. So I'm just glad. Like, this is one of those things where you're like, I just want to wake up and have the headlines be boring,
right?
and no crazy headlines on TV, nothing really to report. Just day proceeds as planned. That's what I want the headlines to be. So I hope it was like that for you, or the rest of the times you've been to Bangkok, Mike. And thank you very much for your support. And I guess you're a good luck charm at this point. But please, if you're coming to Thailand, let us know just in case. We'll,
that's right.
Ears pricked up.
All right. Thanks, Mike. A final thanks to our patrons who support the show. Patrons get a ton of cool perks and the warm, fuzzy feeling knowing that they're helping in our never-ending quest for cool content. Find out more by clicking support on our website. And connect with us online. We're Bangkok Podcast on social media, bangkokpodcast.com on the web, or simply bangkokpodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from our listeners and always reply to our messages. Unless, of course, you're an agent who sends endless pitch emails on behalf of a client.
That's right. You can also listen to the episode on YouTube. Send us a voicemail through our website that will feature on the show. Find me on Blue Sky at BKK Greg. Thank you for listening, everyone, and Hal. And we'll see you back here next week.
For sure.